boss. Talk about all these street boss. Talk about turn your click up, dog. Talk about turn your bitch up, dog. Talk about turn your click up, dog.
He want the scoop, she want the tea. She want the tea. I cannot speak.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. If you don't know me, my name is Harmony. Hi, it's so nice to meet you and I hope you're having a great morning, evening, or night whenever you're watching this. And if you're not new, hi, welcome back. I missed you so much. As you read from the title of this video today, I'm going to talk about why I transferred from Georgia State. If you didn't know, I went to Georgia State last year. Now I go to Spelman. Yes, the illustrious Spelman College, #1 HBCU for 17 consecutive years. Oh, don't you wish? I'm sorry, I don't know. Argue with your mom, not me. I'm gonna talk about my school. I don't know. I'm gonna be talking about the reasons that I transferred from Georgia State. And if you see me looking over here, it's just because I wrote down like all the reasons and I wrote notes as well because I didn't want to forget anything. But there are three like kind of main reasons that kind of balled up to why I eventually transferred from there. So academics, community / like atmosphere of the campus, as well as safety. All of those reasons also have sub-reasons as to why I transferred, but those are the three main reasons why I transferred, and I'm going to be talking about each of them in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first reason that I'm going to be talking about is academics. So one, all of my classes, I kid you not, all of the classes that I took freshman year were lecture halls. Like, and mind you, I came in with 21 credits, so I was technically a like second year freshman. By the second semester of my freshman year, I was a sophomore. So all of my classes were lecture halls. And like the smallest class I had, I believe was like 30 people, and that was literally freshman orientation. So that was a letdown for me because I'm used to making relationships with my professors. Like in high school, I was friends with so many teachers. It was actually quite sick to go from knowing my teachers and them knowing me to my professors not even knowing my name, not even remember where I sit. Like that was a big blow to me, and I just didn't really want to do that. Like I struggle in class sometimes. Like thankfully I ended with straight A's, like I had a 4.0, but if I was like someone who struggled in my classes a lot, I would have been screwed, because that's, if I'm not comfortable with you, it's really hard for me to like come to you and ask for help or ask for questions. I don't think I ever went to a single professor's office hours. Another thing about it was Georgia State had so many majors, like too many majors actually. So my major at Georgia State, I was looking to change it before I left. I was actually about to change it to accounting, but my major at Georgia State was entrepreneurship, and I don't think there was a single professor that was like specifically for entrepreneurship. And I think when you have so many majors, it's hard to like really gain a specific edge like in the workforce over your major, because they don't really, like they might know what they're talking about, but they don't have a specific sense of like, they don't have like a personal connection to your major. Like I know that sounds weird, but for me that really turned me off from Georgia State, because why do you have over 250 majors? So that didn't sit right with me. You can't get a lot of knowledge if you have too many majors, if you can't hone it down to like specifics. I'm not saying, because Spelman definitely has a shortage of majors, but that shortage of majors definitely helps breed students that know what they're doing and they know how to get out into the workforce and find a job and be successful, because you have people who know what they're talking about, who know what they're doing, who are able to help those students really get a good grasp of like what they need to know to succeed in their major. And I just really did not like how Georgia State had like, that really blows me. I'm sorry, but that's another reason why I was like, yeah girl, it's time for me to go, because I'm not gonna be able to know what I'm talking about. Another thing that turned me off is that so many professors were just bad. I remember I was looking at like calculus teachers, because I took calculus my second semester. I think they had 3 teachers and then like 20 maybe sections to choose from. Why was every professor like less than a 3 honorable professor? Like there were so many bad professors that I came in contact with, and it was just like, why are all these professors like terrible? I don't know if that's the thing at every school, because so far I just haven't had that at Spelman. Like I haven't had a super bad professor. Granted, I've only been there like 1 semester, but like I've had professors that might have been like at Spelman specifically that might be like a little like kind of loosey-goosey, but at the end of the day, I got my A, so I don't really care. And they know what they're talking about, they just might not be able to articulate it, because like my macroeconomics professor, he was a good professor. Macroeconomics is just hard, but I was in his office hours and he taught me everything I needed to know. I could talk off your ear about monetary policy. I feel like it's because Spelman makes sure that they hire good professors, because even though a professor might not know how to teach, they definitely know what they're talking about Spelman, and they can definitely bring you into their office hours and talk to you about it a little bit more. I know that's right. That was everything for the academics portion, so now we're gonna get into community. Georgia State is not a typical college. It's not a traditional college. If you want a traditional college, don't go there. It's an open campus, so that already causes issues, because if you have an open campus, it's harder to get like a real sense of community. I'm not saying it can't happen, because like Clark, Atlanta, they're an open campus and they got community over there. That CCCAAA you go ride for they CCCCAAA you hard. So I'm not saying that it's an open campus and that's why it's not traditional. It's just not traditional. Like, it's a heavy commuter college. I was talking to one of my cousins who was also a freshman there, and the fact that they commuted every day, they don't have to stay at the dorm. I actually knew a lot of commuters. I think out of my freshman orientation class, I believe at least 20 of them out of the 30 were commuters. And these are freshmen. And then on top of that, they have 5 perimeter campuses. I remember I would meet people, because I go to the living room, TLR. Yes, I praise my Lord. I love my small group. Hey, shout out to my small group girlies. If you watching this, what's happening? What's popping? I miss y'all. And I would meet people who say they go to Georgia State, and I'd be like, oh, like, okay, like, do you stay on campus? They're like, no, I go to the Alpharetta campus. I go to the Decatur one. I go to the Dunwoody one. Like, it's such a heavy commuter college. I met people on social media and I would talk to them and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, we should meet up. When's the next time you're on campus? Or like, do you stay on campus? And they'd be like, oh, actually I'm at the perimeter location. I'm transferring there in like 2 years, so I wanted to see what it was all about. And by transfer, I mean they're like transferring from the Dunwoody campus to the Atlanta campus. It's a heavy commuter college, so you're not gonna get a traditional experience there. My cousin who just graduated, she was a commuter. She was not 18 starting college. Like, that's not what happened for her. And I knew plenty of people who were like in their 40s, in their 30s, in their 50s going to Georgia State because they had a free tuition program. Like, if you're going to Georgia State, maybe 70% is like traditional undergrads and the other 30% is like older people who came back to school, people who are trying to, like, ped students. Like, you're not gonna get a traditional college experience there, so don't come looking for one, because you're not gonna get it. I'm sorry. The thing about the atmosphere and like the way Georgia State's campus runs, why was I an RA my freshman year? I was literally an RA after being there for 4 months. Mind you, I was so homesick when I came back second semester when I was an RA. I could not console them kids. If they came to me crying about, I want to go back home, baby, I'm crying because I want to go back home too. I don't want to be here anymore. And like, the way that I was even able to become an RA is crazy to me. Like, why? Like, I'm sorry. That just really blows me. That was one of the main reasons that I was like, oh yeah, I need to get out of here. Because the fact that I'm an RA my freshman year makes 0 sense. No sense at all. I should not be able to be an RA. Like, there should be a rule against that. I believe at other campuses and other colleges, that's a rule. Like, you can't be an RA your freshman year. So another issue with me was just like, a lot of students, it just felt like people, especially like depending on your major, like the music majors, they had their own floor. So they had like loads of people that they knew. But like, I did not meet anybody until like November. I did not have friends until November, because a lot of what I heard, there were 2 types of people that went to Georgia State. One of them were like people from Georgia. A lot of people were from Georgia, because I would ask where they were from and they'd be like, oh, I'm from Decatur. Oh, I'm from Douglasville. Oh, I'm from Alpharetta. Oh, I'm from Dunwoody. Oh, I'm from Fayetteville. Like, they would be from Georgia. Like 90%, at least 90% I say is Georgia people, 5% is international students because they had a lot of international students. And I believe the other 5% are people like me who came from out of state and just didn't want to go to like a school in their state. 3 of my friends were not from Georgia, everybody else was from Georgia. They were like, yeah, I just feel like I'm straight out of high school. Like I keep seeing people from my high school here. Like, I don't know why I keep seeing people from my high school. Like I'm in high school, I don't even have to make friends because I'm literally in high school still. So that was a really big issue for me because I like to, you know, have friends as one does. And it took me so long. Like I knew I was leaving in January. Like I was leaving after the first semester because I just had no community on campus. And that's literally what college is all about. Like I've talked about this before. College is like 30 to 40% academics. The rest is completely like mental, like meeting people, having new experiences, learning about different backgrounds. And the way I just didn't know anybody and I didn't have any community there, like I knew I was ready to go because at Spelman, I was welcomed with open arms. Like the first day, I would tell people, I was like, oh yeah, I'm a transfer sophomore. And they were like, oh my gosh, like we're so happy to have you. Like, come give me a hug. What's your Instagram? Like, it's so nice to meet you. And that's the first day. And it's just gotten better since that. Like I've met people in my classes who are great. Like, of course they're freshmen, but like, so what? But I've met people in my class who are great. I've met people who are also transfers. I've met people from work. Like this did not happen for me at Georgia State. I was just very much alone. I was very much go to class, go to the library, sit up in my room, go to bed and go do it all over again. Like I had nobody. I had friends eventually, but even then I was just very alone and very sad because I was alone. And then on top of that, like I remember during the first month, I kept texting my sister actually, because my sister went to UAPB, so like she went out of state too. And I was like, how long did it take you to make friends? And she was like maybe a month. And mind you, she's more quiet than me. My sister is very shy. She's very reserved. She's quieter than me. So the fact that she already had friends her first month in and I was in month 2, like, I don't, like, where is everybody? Like, people would only hang out with their roommates. They wouldn't go out and talk to other people. I mean, they might have like friends or associates that they might have had. 9 times out of 10, the people I talked to, their best friends were their roommates. The people who they spent their birthdays with were their roommates. Like, and I didn't choose my roommates. Granted, my suite mate, we went to the Scissor concert together, but like we hung out, but we weren't like super tight. Like, I was trying to meet new people and I just didn't meet anybody. And guess what? She's not from Georgia and she ended up transferring too. So it's not just me. Even in my classes, like nobody talked to anybody. They came in on the first day and they like had their people that they knew that they were sitting with. And I was like, how do you know who these people are? Like, because orientation is over the summer. Like, there's no orientation that happens like you get there a week before and you like hang out. No, like orientation was over the summer and you pick the date that worked best for you. And then we got there the weekend before. Move-in was the weekend before classes started. So I think I was there for like 2 days before classes started. So that's how I know these people, they're literally coming from high school. Like, they already knew each other, because there's no way that you have this 10 people friend group and freshman orientation like we just met. Like, what's happening? Another thing that like really threw me off, like especially with community and atmosphere, is I never felt welcome to campus. And on top of that, the pretty privilege is insane there. Like, I remember I was going to like the club fair where, you know, all the clubs and organizations are there and, you know, they're trying to get you to join their club and all this. And I remember I was gonna join NAACP because I heard about like that's a really good org for like if you're new to campus. And I went up to the NAACP table. I just came from pre-calc. I was tired and, you know, I was just like trying to, you know, keep my motion. I came up to their table and like she looked at me looking at her and I was like, hey, and she was like, hi. I said, oh, well, I just, you know, kind of wanted to learn more about NAACP and like how to join and like if you guys like if there are dues, like I'm just trying to learn more about the org. And she was like, oh, well, you can scan this QR code, because you know they had the little board thing, and she was like, well, you can scan this QR code and learn more about it. It's $25 in dues, and you know we do like different events throughout the semester. And I was just like, oh, okay. You know, I was like, maybe she wasn't looking to talk right then, but I kid you not, I take 2 steps to look at the next org and I hear her go, oh my gosh, hey pretty girls, come over here and learn about NAACP. I don't know if I'm ugly or what, but like the way that she blew me off so bad, and I was like looking to join her club and these girls were just walking by, and the fact that the interaction was so different is so insane to me. Pretty privilege is so real there. I'm telling y'all, like I would try to go up to people and like be like, oh, like what's your Instagram? You're so pretty, like let's hang out. And people would like leave me on delivered, leave me on red, wouldn't want to talk to me. People were just really rude there and like really like entitled. And I don't know why. I don't know if it was pretty privilege. I don't know if that's just how they were raised. But that atmosphere, that environment, I didn't want to be around, because I've heard that that's still a thing at Spelman, but I have not had that issue at all. Like everybody I talk to there is so sweet, so nice, so welcoming. Like I told you about the story where they welcomed me on my first day, and I'm a transfer. Experience I think was really the breaking point for me, just like not wanting to go there. Because another experience that I had really recently when I come onto campus is that they had this bingo tournament, and the way people were just like rude and acting like insane. Like I think the big prize was like an air fryer, but like people were like pushing me around. The atmosphere and the way they acted at that bingo tournament, y'all, if Madison is watching this, please talk about it, girl, because it was so insane. Like people were just acting literally insane, and I was like, for an air fryer, please be so for real right now. Taking people's cards, like I was just like, can we please calm down? Like it's an air fryer, it's an air fryer. Why are you why are you so close to trampling me for an air fryer? Go to the store and buy one for $70. Like it's really not that deep. Yeah, that atmosphere in the campus, it just was not for me. I was like, I don't know if I'm like bougie or something, but I just wasn't like the way that the experiences that I had and the way people acted, I just couldn't go there anymore. So yeah, that's it for community. Let's not talk about it anymore. So the third thing and the biggest thing that I want to talk about is the safety. This one was right behind community on why I had to transfer. Why were there 3 shootings in one night, all right outside my dorm? Actually, I'm gonna insert some of the video clips right now. Watch this. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. They're sitting out there blocking traffic. They are sitting out there blocking traffic. You see this? Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? That's what I thought. Now State Patrol is here. So, like, just the way that the campus operated, they lied so much during the tour. Like I remember when we were walking around, they were telling us about, oh, like, yes, this might be downtown Atlanta, like this might be an open campus. And granted, I knew this, you know, I'm from St. Louis, the most dangerous city in the US. Like I knew there were going to be like some safety implications, but what they told us and what it actually was so crazy. And he was like, now parents, like I know you might be like, oh no, what is my child getting into? I just don't want them at this like open campus. But he was like, we're in the middle of 9 police municipalities, and you're always gonna see like cops just driving around, and it's very safe. And like we have this program where the police can come pick you up, and then they can drive you to like your dorm if you don't want to walk back, if it's late at night. We have shuttles. Like, y'all, it was just so sick, because I remember I would encounter homeless people all the time. There was this one homeless lady, she didn't do nothing to nobody. The tent, it was like, I can't really explain to y'all where it was. If you go to Georgia State, or if you've ever walked around the Georgia State's campus, right? It's right next to 75 Piedmont. You know who I'm talking about. But like, she would just start screaming all of a sudden, like out of nowhere. She didn't bother nobody, but it was just like weird, because I was not expecting that. There was the rapper, y'all know about the homeless rapper. He was cool though. I would hear stories about people being like threatened with knives when they walk out the mix, when they walk out the commons. There were homeless people that snuck into the dorms. There was this one lady who would sell rocks, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I was told that like if you didn't buy them, she would like threaten you and like throw the rocks at you. A friend told me about this time that the multiple times that homeless men tried to follow her back into the dorm, because the way you did it, you like tapped your card, and then you had to tap your card at these turnstiles. People jump the turnstiles all the time. There would be homeless people in the student center. I've seen like y'all, oh, we were in the dining hall one time. I was in the dining hall with Madison, and who is my sweet mate, and this homeless man was at the windows, because there's these like big, it's like this big wall of windows on one side of the dining hall, and he like just got naked and like showed everybody. Like, he got arrested after that, but like the fact that there was nobody like monitoring that, like it was so insane. Like, and I just didn't feel safe there anymore. I was like, the fact that there are homeless people in the dorms is actually insane. I remember I even used the whole police thing one night. Like, I had went to like this church Family Feud game, and because Georgia State is such a big campus and a lot of people don't live on campus because they commute, I was like, oh, well, it's time for me to go, because I wanted to leave early, because, you know, it was a school night. I was like, I got class at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Like, I'm trying to go. And I requested one of those police things, and it took like 30 minutes to get there. Like, hey, can I get an ETA? We can't give ETAs. Like, if I had been somewhere where they kicked me out and I would just have to sit outside, like, I would literally be in danger, because like it was too much. It was too much. And shootings were like a fairly frequent thing. Like, I think there was 5 shootings throughout the whole year, but there would honestly be like a lot of things about, you know, girls being like, we would often get like police notices because a guy would like try to come up behind a girl. And like, I remember there was this time when I was walking back to campus from one of my classes, and this guy in a truck had like pulled over, and he was like, hey you, can you get that girl's attention? You know, because she was a pretty girl. And he was like, can you get her attention? And I just like had to leave him on red in real life. There was so many crazy things that happened. Oh my gosh, the racetrack, the amount of times I got hit on inside the racetrack, the amount of times I got hit on outside the dorms. Men would literally sit outside the dorms and they would wait for girls to come in, and they'd be like, hey, let me get your Instagram. And mind you, they got their homeboys all behind you, because I remember this one guy, he was like, can I get your Instagram? And I was like, oh no, I'm good. And all his homeboy, man, you gonna do my boy like that? Like, my boy just went like, he thought you was pretty, like, you're not even that fine, like, just give me your Instagram. And I was like, okay, fine, like please just leave me alone. But the guy who barbecued, y'all know who I'm talking about. If you go to Georgia State, there was a guy who barbecued outside the dorm. At the racetrack, I got hit on by old men like all the time. Like, I remember this one time, this man, because I remember I was not about to leave the racetrack one time, because they have police in there, but it's very on and off. Like, sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. But this one time that I went in there was not a policeman in there, and it was like 2 p.m. I was just trying to get a pack of gum and a lottery ticket. Like, I was just trying to be in and out. And I saw this man like was looking at me while I was in there. So I was like, okay, like maybe I'm just, you know, imagining things, because he left. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm good. Like, I don't gotta worry about him. So I was like last in line and he was first, and there was maybe like 8 people behind us. So it took me like a good 10 more minutes to like leave that store. And I remember when I came out, he was literally sitting there like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Mind you, this man is like 40. And I was like, no, thank you. And then I walked across the street. It's across the street from the dorm. He probably watched me walk inside and everything. Like, it was never safe in there. I was like never safe. And it was so bad. And I just didn't want that for college. I didn't want to walk around homeless people and people hitting on me and old men acting weird and being threatened with knives and shootings for the next 3 years. I didn't want to do that. So yeah, but that's all for safety. Let's get into the outro. So I hope you guys were able to see some of the reasons that I eventually decided to transfer from Georgia State. It was definitely a time. You definitely had to be there. I definitely made some references to Georgia State, things that only Georgia State people can talk about and understand. I do want to give my last little disclaimer. Georgia State is not a bad school. I know plenty of people who still go there, who are from out of state and they still go there, who are in state and still go there, and they're doing great. I just don't think Georgia State was the school for me. I think you can go there and be very successful. I know this one guy who's doing music and he's doing great. If you are planning on going to Georgia State, I don't think you should use my video to deter you. I think you should do your own research, go on an unofficial tour, ask people about what their experiences were, because, you know, there's bad things about every school. At the end of the day, it was, you know, it was a year, but It's not a bad school, but I did eventually decide to transfer. And I'm so happy where I'm at right now. I think it was all in God's will. Thank you for watching another video. If you like this video, go ahead and make sure to give it a thumbs up down below. Comment on what you thought was the craziest part of this video that I talked about, because I can go more in depth. I can also give a advice video for Georgia State because, again, not a bad school, just wasn't the school for me. So if you want a freshman advice video for Georgia State or an advice video for Georgia State, or watch this if you think you want to go to Georgia State video, please let me know in the comment section. I would be more than happy to do so. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and also make sure you follow me on all my socials at harmony_h.04, and I will see you guys in the next one.
All these streets, boss, turn your click up, dog. Turn your bitch up, dog. Turn your click up, dog.